Masking has long been a challenge for stampers. What if you want to create a stamped scene with some images on top and some behind? Traditionally, this involves stamping the bottom image, then making a copy of the image on scrap paper, temporarily adhering it over the original, then stamping the top image and removing the copy. Unfortunately, this doesn't work for intricate stamps with a lot of white space, such as words. So when I heard about a liquid masking product, I was excited to give it a try. It's called Incredible White Mask Liquid Frisket, and it's made by Graphics. It comes in a package along with a special applicator brush and an eraser. First, let's talk about stamping ink. To remove the liquid frisket, you'll need to rub the stamped surface. I found that pigment inks have a tendency to smudge when they're rubbed. I recommend stamping your image on a piece of scrap paper, allowing it to dry, and then rubbing it with your finger to test. Dye inks worked well for me, and Stays-On solvent ink was excellent. When you're ready to stamp, you need to think backwards. Instinctively, you'll want to stamp your bottom image first, then layer the other stamps on top of it. Instead, you'll need to first stamp the image you want in the forefront. Allow the ink to dry completely. Dip the nib brush in water, then blot on a paper towel. Dip in the liquid frisket, then apply directly over the stamped image with the nib brush. Trace carefully, as any spots you miss won't be protected. Rinse the nib often and keep it moist. If you don't keep it moist and clean, the liquid frisket will bead up on the end of the nib. Allow the liquid frisket to dry. It goes on white and dries clear. Now you can stamp your next image. Again, you'll want to stamp the image you want to be closest to the front. Allow it to dry, then apply the liquid frisket. Finally, I'm going to stamp the background, or the image I want below all the others. Remember to avoid stamping over the masked areas until the liquid frisket is dry. Once you're done stamping, blot the paper gently with a paper towel to absorb any extra ink that's sitting on top of the liquid frisket. Now we can remove the liquid frisket mask. An eraser was included in the package to help remove it, but since I'm working on such a small area, I really prefer removing it with a fingertip. Gently rub over the stamped area and the liquid frisket will peel from the paper. I'm going to outline my letters with a pen so they'll stand out more against the dark background. Then I'll round off the corners and add it to the card. A couple of buttons and some baker's twine will finish this card. This was my first time using the liquid frisket, so it isn't quite perfect. But overall, I think this stamping technique looks pretty awesome. I'm going to give this masking technique another try. This time, I'm going to stamp my image and fill it in with watercolor paint. I learned the hard way that when you use watercolors, you need to be certain that your image is absolutely, completely dry before adding the liquid frisket. If you don't, the liquid frisket might lift off some of the paper when you remove it. I'm using Stays-On ink for my birdhouse because it won't smear. While I wait for my watercolor to dry, I can start stamping my background, avoiding the watercolored birdhouse. Once your image is dry, trace and fill it in with the liquid frisket. Allow the liquid frisket to dry, then stamp the background over it. Blot with a paper towel, then remove the mask. I'll turn this into a card by punching a border, adding a handwritten sentiment, and tying a bow with twine. I still need a little practice to perfect my technique, but I think Incredible White Mask Liquid Frisket opens up a lot of exciting possibilities for stampers. For more information about this product, visit graphicsarts.com. For hundreds more crafting tutorials, visit my website madebymarzipan.com.